Hello, happy Friday, everybody. I'm doing something a little different today because this is a recipe that's not up on my website yet. I just got an air fryer. I won it on an Instagram contest, and I thought I would think it's okay, but I love it. My husband's going crazy for it. We've reheated stuff in it. We made chicken wings, which is one of the things I'm going to show you today. And then while they're cooking, I have a really easy side salad that I do have the recipe for. I just put that in the chat. It's a cannellini bean salad with dill. It's just a really easy side dish, no cook, very straightforward. But I've been posting this air fryer, like the stuff I've been making on Instagram, and everybody's been asking me for recipes. Like I just got it, but I've had it for about a week. But this is the one that I have. It's the Ninja air fryer. It's not huge. There is one that's taller. This one, the basket comes out like that, and then I'm just gonna let it do its thing over here. But it comes with this little rack. You can use it as a dehydrator, which I haven't done yet, but I'm looking forward to doing that. But if you do that, on the bottom, this is the crisper plate that goes into, sorry, the lighting's not great, but goes into the base for things, and it lets the air circulate around it when you're air frying. And so basically, if you aren't familiar with air frying, it lets you get stuff super crispy as if you were deep frying it, but without any or much oil. So for this recipe, I'm leaving that basket in there, and I'm also going to use this little rack. I'm just going to spray this with some oil and preheat the air fryer. This one only takes 3 minutes to preheat, and then the wings only cook for 20 minutes. So I've been really liking it. This size doesn't hold a whole lot of wings, so I'm making like a pound of wings today, so probably about 6. The pack that I have, this is 2 pounds, so I'll make the other ones later. But you can do it in batches if you want, or if you have a larger air fryer, you could put a rack on top, chicken wings underneath, and then more on top so that they're not touching, because if they're touching, the air circulation won't really get around them. So I'm just going to spray this lightly with oil. And that's the only oil I'm putting in. Well, it's the only oil that's going on to fry the wings. I'm doing a garlic Parmesan butter, so they're going to have a decent amount of fat, but you can do them with whatever sauce you like. So I'm just going to put this, let me plug it back in. I read a lot of different things about wings online, and what worked for me is 400 degrees for 20 minutes and just flipping them over in the middle. So I'm going to I have the sprayed basket in here. You know, when I made them last time, I arranged them on the basket and then I transferred this into it after it was preheated. So I'm just going to preheat it with this crisper plate in. So I'm going to hit air fry and turn it up to 400. And then I'm going to start. I just moved the time up to 23. It only takes 3 minutes to preheat, but it might take me longer than that to get it started. So I've got this sprayed. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's like a kind of a loud fan. It's circulating the air inside of there. So that's my. All right. You're gonna want to pat the chicken wings dry with a paper towel. Like I said, I'm gonna do half now. I'll do the other half later. This recipe easily scales, but it's like if you just want wings for yourself for lunch, it's super easy. So some paper towels. I put another board on top of this board since I'm going to be cutting other stuff on there that's not raw meat. But I'm going to do a mix. When you buy your wings, actually, this is a drumette and this is a wingette. If you buy, this is also called a flat sometimes. If you buy them together, they're kind of like that, and there's a little tip on there. So if you buy a full wing, you need to cut it at the joint and cut the tips off. Sounds intimidating. I don't love doing it, so I prefer to buy them already like this. 2, 3. These are kind of large and meaty, so they might take a little bit longer, but 5 of those. I'm going to pat them really dry. And then I'm going to stick them on the rack. I'm not going to put anything on them yet. I'm going to leave the flavor for when we toss them after they're nice and crispy. Good morning. Feel free to ask any questions regarding this recipe, other recipes, anything you like. So I'm going to take these wings and arrange them on this rack so that they're not touching. Depending on how big the wings are, you can get probably 5 or 6 on there. Yeah, this is 5. They're like just on there. There's a little room around each of them. And there's 6 more in the back. So this has already been preheating for 3 minutes, which is all this model of air fryer needs. You have to check whichever one you have and see if yours is different. But I'm gonna take this. You could arrange them in there with tongs, like without doing this with the basket. I just kind of find it easy. I'm gonna pull the tray out, drop that in there, pop it in. So it's going for 20 minutes. After 10 minutes, I'm gonna flip the wings around. Okay. Just gonna get the rest of the wings back in the fridge because I'm not gonna make these ones right now. Okay. For the sauce, it's really easy. It's garlic, Parmesan, and parsley, and butter. So for 1 pound of wings, you just need half a stick of unsalted butter. And you can do it in a microwave. You could do it on the stovetop. I have some other stuff I'm going to be making also, so I'm just going to put this in this little can and put it on the stovetop. I have a melt function on mine. So I'm just going to let that melt over there while I chop up some other stuff. All right. This needs 2 cloves of garlic. You could do more if you like things really garlicky. Might be able to do this. But I think 2 is good for this amount. Just peel them and mince them nicely. Finely. So do them angrily, whatever, however you want to mince them. Also, if you have any favorite air fryer recipes, let me know in the comment section. I would love, or in the chat. I'd love to hear. So far I've done wings, pizza. Well, I've reheated pizza. I've done frozen tater tots and fish nuggets. I want to try doing my falafel recipe in there. If it turns out well, I will maybe do that on a future Facebook Live. Mince this up. If you're doing this if you're doing the butter in a bowl, you could use, like this is the bowl that I'm going to toss the wings in. This is a Paris bowl that's got a lid. So what you can do is melt the butter in here. I would do it at like half power for like 15-second bursts and stir it in between each. That way the butter melts evenly. I like doing half power because sometimes if you've ever melted butter and it just kind of explodes because it's a little too high power. So that's helpful. But you could do it all right in the same bowl. You would melt the butter and then add in the garlic, parsley, and Parmesan. So I'm just going to put the garlic in there for now. And I can already hear the chicken like getting crispy in here. All right. So I've got 2 cloves of garlic and then got some parsley. My garden parsley is still growing even though it's November. So I'm going to keep using it while I can. If you don't have fresh parsley, you could totally use dried parsley. That would be good in here too. And you don't have to use the herbs, it's just kind of nice. And then I grate some Parmesan cheese and a little more than I need because I'll put some in with the butter mixture, and then I'll do some afterward on top because it just like kind of looks cool to have pillows of fresh Parmesan cheese on top of the wings. I prefer these to like buffalo wings just because I like the garlic flavor, and my son likes them a lot. The last time I made wings in here, I did one batch like this, and then while I was tossing that, I did another batch cooked just the same with only spraying the rack. And then I tossed it in buffalo wing sauce after. And Frank's, I'll show you the bottle actually. So I had this left over from this chickpea, buffalo chickpea dip that I make. So their buffalo wing sauce is different than Frank's Red Hot. So if you're using Frank's Red Hot to make wings, you need to add butter in with it. And I've heard there's a local wing place here that I've heard that their recipe is Frank's Red Hot, butter, and garlic. So there's no way that would be bad. I haven't tried it yet though. So we made that. I made the two different types of wings, and then I took some ranch dressing and crumbled blue cheese into it to make kind of a, not really homemade, but to make blue cheese out of ranch dressing. I'm going to use a microplane to grate the Parmesan. I like this, I don't know what the coarseness is, but there's various ones. For example, this guy, you can see like the teeth are a little finer, so that makes like a really, really thin Parmesan grating it. There are ones that are bigger. The size kind of works, and I like that it's a paddle. So I'm going to grate about 1/3 of a cup, and then I'm going to put around half of it in to the bowl with the garlic and the parsley. And I didn't salt and pepper the wings before I put them in the air fryer. I'm going to do that after they come out. So I'm going to put pepper in with the parsley, and garlic and butter, and Parmesan. And then I'll salt, when the wings come out of the air fryer, I'm going to put them on top of the sauce, put salt right on top of the wings, and then toss it all together. And depending, you might need more or less salt. So I usually start off with like a 1/4 teaspoon and then add more if I need it, because the Parmesan is also salty. So sometimes you need a little more, depending. So got that. I'm going to take about half. This is not science. You can really play with it. So there's 13.5 minutes left on my chicken. Butter's almost melted. Use some tongs. What else do I need? Pepper. Oh, I've had some questions about this oil sprayer. So you can totally use cooking spray in a, that you already buy. Hi, Nicole. I like using this because you can put whatever oil you want in there. And I had one of those Misto ones for a long time, but it kept getting clogged. And this one, there's pressure in here right now. But you screw the top off, you fill it up, and then you use this to pump it before you spray. And I really like this one. I've had it for probably a 1.5 years now. Be careful if you buy the cooking spray that are in the bottles already. Some of them have a silicone in them to help keep it from sticking, and that while it works, it can gunk up your like your griddle. They're using some of that on the griddles of the cooking class that I've been teaching at the library, and the griddles got all gunky around the edges, and you couldn't really love my new stuff. I had that one for a long time. It just, for some reason, it kept clogging no matter how well we would clean it. So this one's been working a little better for us. All right, the butter is melted. So I'm just going to add that in with that. How are you doing today, Rob? The hot butter kind of melts the Parmesan a little bit. Just kind of stir that together, and that's what we're going to toss the wings in. So, got that. All right, there's 11.5 minutes. I'm gonna pull the tray out so you can see what they look like halfway through. Hit pause. Ooh. So you can see, okay, I'm gonna do it carefully. The skin is already starting to get crispy. I'm just gonna flip them over. I wouldn't usually pull it out quite this far, but I don't know if you can tell, starting to get some color. One of the other tools that's really important, I feel like especially for chicken, is an inserting thermometer. So just flip them all over, put it back in, and hit start. So an inserting thermometer, I keep this one on my refrigerator because it's got a magnet up here. But it's got like a little probe on the end of it, so you can easily stick it in things to tell what temperature. Do you have an affiliate link to purchase that oil spray? I do. It's in my Amazon shop. It's shop.am. Oh wait, why do I always forget this? Let's see. It's amazon.com/shop/big flavors, but I'll put it in the chat. This is the main page of my Amazon shop, and then I know I have the mister in here. It's been a while since I put it in, so I might need to bump it up. Bear with me one moment. If I can't track it down quickly, I'll put it in after this is done. Oh, here we go. Right now it's $24. They have a couple colors that looks like they have silver, red, black, and white. So there is a link for that. And again, I want to thank everybody who uses my links to buy things. I really appreciate it. It doesn't cost you any more than it would if you bought them without my links. It just gives me a couple cents commission for helping you find things. So as always, if you're looking for something, let me know. I'm happy to help you. I have I've added some new things I have like a green cooking and dining list. So there's like different lists within my Amazon store. So I have like a section just for like cocktail stuff and one for baking supplies, and then I have one specific to these Facebook Lives. So like this, if somebody asks me for something, I'll try to put it in that section so it's easier to find. Just added a little bit of black pepper in here. I'm going to set it off to the side and set my extra Parmesan off to the side while I make this salad, because I wanted to show you guys something else while I'm waiting for this. Oh, but like I was saying, the instant thermometer, you want it to get to at least 165 degrees on the internal temperature of the chicken. When you stick this in, you want to make sure you're not hitting the bone. So kind of I like to look at the largest of the chicken wings and just stick it into like the center of a meaty part of it. And sometimes you can check it in a couple different places if you're concerned. But the other thing with the air fryer, the way the air circulates, it really does a good job of, even if it's overcooked, it's still pretty moist. Apologies to people who hate that word. So cucumber cannellini bean salad with dill. This one has been, a lot of people over on Pinterest have made it, and I love seeing like the different spins people put on it. Cannellini beans, same thing as white beans. So I'm just using one standard size can. You could double the amount of beans you put in if you like. If you don't like cucumbers, you could put other veggies in. I like doing kind of something crunchy. It would be good with tomatoes also, instead of or in addition to the cucumbers. I'm just draining and rinsing. It just gets the extra starch off and gets rid of some of the sodium, although we'll add some salt to it. But they can be pretty salty right out of the can. So this is the mixing bowl I'm using for now. It's a giant Pyrex measuring cup. So, and then the recipe, that link is in the chat if you're interested in this recipe. And the air fryer wings will be up soon. I need to, actually when I make the other half, I'll shoot some good photos, which is why the photo on the Facebook icon is from my cutting board when I was making them last week. So I have these little mini cucumbers that I picked up. If you're using a regular English cucumber, just one is good. This would be good with maybe some raw bell peppers. You can really, and you could change out if you don't want to do dill. You could do parsley or chives, or you could do a mix of herbs. Rosemary might be a little much for it. It's getting a little smoky in here from the convection with wings element. There we go. All right, so if you have a full-size English cucumber, you can quarter it. This one, since it's a smaller one, I'm just going to cut it in half and then cut them about a 1/4 inch thick. Doesn't matter really how thick they are as long as it's fairly consistent. I love this in the summer. It's great to add picnic assortments, just a nice, easy, quick, cool side dish. It's also good over salad greens, and with the beans, it's got a lot of protein and fiber, so it leaves you feeling fairly full considering there's nothing like super substantial in it. Oh, I also heard crab cakes are really good in the air fryer, so crab cakes always make me think of my family summer trips to Ocean City, Maryland. We go every year, and it's so fun, and you cannot beat the seafood there. It's cheap. Like the crab there's so much blue crab there. So I might need to channel that, try making some crab cakes at home. And the other thing about crab cakes there is they're so full of the crab. There's not a lot of. Hang on, I'm gonna put a fan in the window. I'll make sure my smoke detector doesn't go off. Although this is live, so it could happen. All right. Put my exhaust fan in the window. The fat from the chicken, you know, the skin kind of pops and sputters a little bit, but it's really easy to clean up. I was surprised actually at how easy it was to clean. I thought it was going to be annoying. So I did, 4 little mini cucumbers. Normally I would do one full English cucumber. Those are the long seedless ones. They're usually wrapped in plastic. Let's stand up a little too. Haven't yet had the smoke detector go off while alive, so today could be the day. I don't have any red onion, but I have a shallot. It's a little bit more of a mild flavor than a red onion. You could also use a yellow onion, a white onion. You could use green onions if you want something, or chives if you want something even more mild, or leave it out altogether if you're not into that flavor. I use about a 1/4 cup, so, or really whatever you want to use. I'm going to use 1 shallot and just thinly slice it. If you do onion in here and you let this sit in the fridge, it'll kind of mellow out as it sits in the fridge. So that's always helpful if you're not really into the super strong flavor of onions. You can also soak them, cut them, and then you can put them in a bowl of really cold water. And then I just kind of break them up to kind of separate them. I feel like this would actually be good in a pita also, like as a little vegetarian sandwich. So I might try that today. I think I might go ahead and check the wings because I don't know, I just feel like they might be done already, even though there's a couple minutes left. So I'm gonna hit pause. Let it sit for a second. Ooh, is it? Can you see the smokiness in here? I have one of the original air fryers, an Actifry. I haven't had great luck with it. This one is got really good reviews, especially for it not being as expensive as some of the others. So you can see I'm gonna go into one of the bigger pieces of chicken, and oh yeah, and it's already at 186. So even though that seems like it would be too much, it's because of the convection. Where are my tongs? because of the convection, they won't be dried out at all. So you can see how really nice and crispy those are. I'm going to put them right into this bowl, the garlic Parmesan mixture. I mean, no, it doesn't read as well on the screen, but it's really nice and crispy. And then I just kind of let it, if I was doing another batch of wings, I would put the new ones in here. But I just kind of, I turn the power off and I just let it sit here, open a little bit to cool off. There's also ones that look kind of like a toaster oven and have like rectangular racks. I think those have a little bit more space. I just don't really have room. So I'm just going to hit this with a little salt and then toss it in this garlic Parmesan parsley butter. So sick. Oh, that's no good. Yeah, definitely. Can you do like chives or anything like that? So let's see. See, they're just like nice, and I mean, so granted, air frying, a lot of people do it because they want less fat. But then I'm tossing these in butter, so this isn't necessarily that much healthier for this particular topping, but it's delicious. So, oh, and you can also, I meant to show this. If you have a container that has a lid, put the wings on there, salt them, and you just shake it like that, and that'll coat them also. So I'm going to put these on the plate so you can see. And if I was doing another batch too, I would have added more, like I would double the amount of garlic Parmesan butter that I made and then just flip those in here and ready for them. So a little more Parmesan. This is actually, there's a local place here that makes really good garlic Parmesan wings and comes piled with all that fresh Parmesan. So that's kind of why I do them like this. So these are, I'm going to let these set to the side. I will taste one as soon as I get the salad mixed up. So I've got cucumber, shallots, cannellini beans. I'm going to do like 1 to 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. I like things a little tangy, so I'll lean more toward 2. And then got 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Toss that all together. Is that it? Oh, salt and pepper. And fresh dill. So I like about, what do I put in here? I didn't write down how much I put in there, but I would guess maybe a couple tablespoons. I have the recipe. Let's see. In case you're curious what it calls for. But recipes like this are so easily, customizable to whatever you like. So I put in a tablespoon. If you're using dried dill, probably use a little bit less than fresh, because the flavor is a little stronger. So you just take the leaves. Oh, did they freeze? Okay. Just take the fronds, I guess they're called. Just give them a little chop. Like I said, a lot of people have been, especially on Pinterest, I feel like a lot of people have been making this. And recently Pinterest changed something so I can actually see when people comment on the pins of my recipes, which is nice. So just tossing this all together. This would also be really nice with like over grilled chicken or tofu or shrimp. Or like beans and shrimp together. So that is the salad. It's nice and hearty. Like I said, it's good. It's really good over salad greens. I might do wings, some salad greens, and this over it for lunch today since I have it. I won't give you up. Thank you very much. All right, so let's see if I can not burn myself trying to bite into one of these. But there's the wing. I just dropped Parmesan into my glass of water. I don't know if you could hear how crispy it was when I bit into it, but it's so good. So, as always, Feel free to reach out with any questions. This recipe will be on my site soon. The salad is already on. If you make any of my recipes, I'd love it if you tag me on social media at Big Flavors. On Twitter, it's at Big Flavors Blog. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys next week. I'm not sure yet what I'll make. If you have any requests, let me know. And have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Oh, sorry. And if you're in the Hudson Valley, New York, it's Hudson Valley Restaurant Week. I went to Roundhouse in Beacon earlier this weekend. It was fantastic. And we're going to be going to Clock Tower Grill over the weekend in Brewster, I believe. It's all throughout the Hudson Valley. There's a couple different counties involved, and it's 3-course price fixed meals. Lunch is it's like $24.95 or something like that, and dinner is $29.95 for. You get 3 courses. It's a great way to try new restaurants and find favorites. Yeah, there's lots of great stuff out here. So I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye.